Hello, friends. I wanted to talk today about sort of a common sentiment that I see going around in the left and a lot of leftist spaces. I see people on the internet talking about this all the time, and it's this need for what people might call leftist propaganda. It's this sort of idea that the right has all these big media figures like Joe Rogan and I don't know, Ben Shapiro. I don't know who they have these days. I don't keep up with that sort of stuff. But, these big right-wing figures, and the left doesn't have anyone that's popular like that. And that the right has this big sort of propaganda machine, basically, that the left doesn't have anywhere nearly as close to. And that's why we're, like, losing, you might say. And I just want to come out the gate, and I think this entire sentiment is completely wrong and misguided. And I'll explain why. First of all, I think that the leftist media we already have is, for the most part, very reactionary. And what I mean by that is it's very wrapped up in emotions, being angry about this or that thing that's topical, and it's very surface level. It's not getting at the deep roots of the problems facing us, but it's simply sort of providing comfort and just, I have an opinion as a viewer, and this thing is saying my opinion is right, and that makes me feel good. And that doesn't mean it's all bad. There's lots of great educational and deeply, philosophical and interesting work getting made out there. And that's very cool. But for the most part, I see this trend, especially amongst, and this isn't, a surprise to me, amongst the bigger sort of leftist people, like your Hassan Piker and your, I don't know. That's the first name that came to mind. Very reactionary stuff. The thing people don't understand about this is that the more popular some type of content is, probably the more reactionary it is. Probably the more surface level and the less actually like politically engaging it is. It becomes slop, right? And so when people call to we need more leftist propaganda, right? That's something we need. Really what you're saying is we need more slop. We need more slop, but with a leftist sort of paint over it. And that's just, I don't see how that helps anyone. We're not going to be as popular. We're just not, unless we stoop to their level, right? Unless we stoop to the level of slop, right? So you could argue that leftist slop is slightly better than right-wing slop. I guess I agree with you there, but it's all slop nonetheless. My main point here is that this is just the case of, this is just how our media landscape operates. It is always, and there is no escaping that unless we dismantle the entire system. It is always only concerned with reactionary sentiment, with sensationalization, with not going deeper, with not engaging your mind, and simply just making you feel like validated. And so my thesis here is that people do not need more leftist media. They don't need some leftist media figure to attach to. They need to read books and talk to their friends, and engage with movements and people and, activities in the real world. We don't need to be advocating for more stuff that just degrades people's minds and also degrades leftist ideas, because I don't think it's beneficial to pull people over to the left if their idea of leftist ideas is just, I hate Trump, I hate ICE, I hate yada yada, and they don't have any actual foundational philosophical core to what they believe in. They don't actually know what they mean when they say, like, socialism, right? I think that's detrimental. Because I truly think that a lot of the popular sentiment that exists comes not from popular media and actually on the outskirts. And so I think an actual work on the ground and education I think that's the stuff doing the deeper work that's actually working to change things. And that's not to say that media doesn't play a part in this, but there is definitely power to media, but it's a dangerous power, and perhaps one that we would be better off in avoiding as best as we can. I just don't think that that's the path forward. And obviously, this is a nuanced issue. I understand the sentiment. I want to say that. I understand why people believe that this is what we need, but it's not, it should not be our focus. It should not be our focus at all. And what I'm doing right now is making leftist media. And so, call me a hypocrite, but I'm not advocating. I just have this channel so that I can express my opinions, and not because I need a lot of people to watch it. And I also hope that I at least engage with topics on more of a deeper level than, a lot of these popular figures that are just sort of, not doing the right work, not encouraging the right type of engagement. So, anyways, that's pretty much my thoughts for this video. It's a short one. I need to start leaning into just having shorter videos where I just give a concise little bit of my thoughts and then end it there, because I think that that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I hope you engage with it in good faith, as always, and I will see you in the next video.